Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel, and yes, as you can see, we're here at Whilton Mill. Now, I have been here before. I am trying to prepare another bit of a video, but I just wanted to get this out of there for you guys because of course you guys have seen my posts. But yeah, so I get 4 practice sessions, but I only recorded 2 on the day just because I wanted to get used to the kart in the first 2. Now, I am not used to these speeds of these karts, so I was basically just trying to get used to them a little bit. So in this session it actually starts to rain, so these 2 will be very wet sessions, but as we come out of the pit box right now it starts nice and dry, but that will go away very soon. So what I was trying to do is what I was doing on the day is what I'd been told afterwards is I was looking behind me a lot too much, which I need to work on going into round 1 onwards at Whilton Mill, funnily enough. And I think immediately, since this was literally my second time here and I'd only had literally 20 minutes of practice at this track, I was sort of glad with what I'd done. I was not far off of getting under the 1 minute, and I might not be very quick in the first couple of races, but I think if I can go there and sort of just start putting down some laps, like a few people won't be that quick anyway. So yeah, in this session, as we're coming around here, the rain is starting to fall. So yeah, clobbering the curbs. I'll give you a little bit of a lap round here, although we are heading straight into the rain. So it's flat through turn 1, and then tiny lift through turn 2, but of course it's very wet. As you can see, I went into the runoff, which I shouldn't have done because I almost lost the rear. Going down the main straight, we let this person through. Braking nice and late for that corner, usually in the dry. When I do get some footage in the dry, I will give that to you guys. But of course this is in the wet. Going into here, we're being kind of cautious, making sure we don't make any mistakes. Going a little bit deep. Letting someone through. Because I didn't want to, of course, be like in the cause of the collision, because I didn't want to. That's why I was just letting people through. I just wanted to be nearer the back, so I could sort of just like not have to worry about people behind me and only worry about what's in front of me, which is what I won't be doing. But that was just a practice session. That's why I did it. So yeah, I will just be commentating on these ones, and I almost run into the side. But since I only have a couple bits of footage, I can just talk you guys through these ones. Almost losing it in the wet. So in the first wet session, I was told that I was sort of taking too long to go through the corners. I was sort of like I was keeping the steering wheel locked, which is something I didn't do in the second one, and I was actually like almost in the top 10 in the wet in the second session. That's somebody spun. But yeah, almost losing the rear. It's so, like, at this track especially, there is hardly any grip. So at some tracks, like the new Silverstone track when I went, it was pouring down, but you didn't really need to worry that much. It was just like the traction you did not have to worry about at all. So yeah, it's just this track, when it's very damp, it's got like it's such a slippery track. I almost go too far running on, and of course, I'm sorry guys, but there is a little bit of rain that will be on the camera. Yellow flags out in front again. That guy has spun around. I also found with these karts in the first couple of sessions that the pickup on them wasn't great. But yeah, basically because I only got 2 sessions in the dry, I wasn't able to go. I think I could have actually got into the either the really low 1 minutes or even under a minute. But yeah, there's the orange and yellow flag, which shows a change in surface. And of course you can't see the steering wheel there, but the steering wheel was just locked, and some people behind me are taking the lines a little bit better. Of course I was just being really cautious because I was being evaluated. I didn't really want to spin at all, so I could make sure that I do get past and I can join the season. So yeah, a couple people almost losing it into here. I'm just trying to get going again. Out of the exit, yellow flags in front. And we spin. We lose the rear. Press the brakes a little bit too hard. We tried to get back on, but the cart is stuck, so I do get out the cart. But sadly, it's wedged in such a bad place that I cannot get it on. So one of the marshals comes running over to help me get it on, because I wouldn't say these karts are the lightest karts in the world. But I'm just waiting for some cars to go by. Again, I'm sorry about the water on the camera, but this is me just watching the footage for, well, the first time and commentating with you guys. So yeah, that was the spin, and on the very same lap you're about to see, since my tyres had just been covered in mud, you're going to see another little incident as we're catching up to the guy in front. Although it's yellow flags, we're catching up to the person in front of us. Yellow flags around here. It's going to go green though as we come around the corner. And we're coming round. The guy in front spins. I try to avoid it and I spin as well. So we've got to wait for the people. Get the cart turned around and we keep going. That was the only two spins I had in that session, but of course, just because I pressed the brakes a little bit too hard, went into the mud, it gave me really bad tyres for the rest of the session, and now I'm really trying to get the cart going. Through this turn 1, I found that I was definitely making certain bad mistakes, but in the second session, when it's actually when it's not raining, but it's still more wet, I end up going a lot faster. Someone up the top has gone through into the mud, trying to get the cart round. And for me, the annoying thing is, I'm coming from indoor karting, and like the best karts, like the fast karts I've been in indoor is like Sodies anyway. And compared to these Club 100 karts that are road taxis, just with a different chassis, is crazy considering the speed of them is just, yeah, kind of crazy. But yeah, as we let a few people come in through here, just trying to see how their lines go. As of course we are seeing a lot of people leaning. And because I'm very, very, very light, I'm forcing so much out of this cart, trying to lean the best as I can, trying to bring my only about 30 kilo, well, not 30, about 40-ish kilos round. Although, of course, the minimum is 60 because I did have a seat insert and a couple bits of weight on the seat, or in the cart, sorry. But yeah, I did struggle with the rain in the first session. I wasn't very quick, but in the second session I did get to grips with it a lot more, trying new techniques and actually going a whole lot faster, which was nice. Almost losing it on exit. It's like using no traction control in F125. Another yellow flag. There was many of these in the session today, but again, something would have happened down here. There is yellow flags. Yep, as you can see, a cart's off. I was trying not to use the curb because I knew it would be very, very slippery. Green flags now, so we're trying to get some speed, trying to lean as best as we can, trying to find some things out of this cart. But yeah, if you are seeing this video and you have a little bit of experience with faster karts and maybe have even been in Club 100 before, and maybe some rain tips as well, I feel like I'm really good when it's like still quite grippy tracks in the wet, but when it's quite damp I struggle a lot. So if you do have any tips for any of the things I just said, please leave them in the down in the comments, and I will really use them as best as I can, because I'd like to actually do well in this Club 100 season. That was a black flag. It was not for me. Do not worry. But yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can get up to speed with the rest of the people and maybe actually get myself up there in one season. Although I am only on the reserves list anyway, so basically if any spots come available, funnily enough, I'll be able to hopefully try and get a spot if I'm quick enough to get in. But yeah, still very, very, very wet in this session. Trying to get the kart turned. We're going a little bit wide. But yeah, definitely in this first session, we were just struggling to know how to take the rain. But yeah, definitely in the second session, we do start improving a lot more. And we actually put in a pretty good lap time in the wet. But yeah, in the first 2 sessions, we were nowhere near the quickest lap times. But again, this is literally our first time on track. Some of these people have been here loads, absolutely loads. So we're just trying to learn as best as we can and get up to grips as quick as possible, which is something I'd say I'm pretty good at. Because funnily enough, one of my friends who was doing this, their best lap was a 59.9, and they were in session A, so they'd had their 3rd session in the dry, where we didn't get our 3rd session in the dry, so I could have gone a little bit faster. But anyway, that was checkered flag. So that is the first session done. We go round another lap, or the half lap, and we go into the little rabbit run into the pits. So yeah, let's move on to the even more wet session 2. So here we are in session 2. As you can see, it's not raining, but now everybody has their wetsuits on. I have my one that is completely different to everybody else. I have a black one, but there you go. There's the whistle. Starting up our karts. Yeah, let's get this show on the road for this session. So I've been told, instead of trying to keep the kart just locked one way, keeping it together, what we would do is I would get it, I would flick it a little bit more, so I'd keep moving the steering wheel to try and get it going a little bit. So yeah, here we go then. 10 sessions, but immediately as we go into turn 1, a bunch of people already out. I go nice and slowly just to make sure nothing actually happens, and off we go then. On to session 2, already immediately spinners. In this session I do have one little thing that happens up at this corner here, Christmas corner, but it doesn't happen right now. Of course, I had a bit of a wobble coming through there, but as you can see, I'm hitting the apex a little bit more, which, although might not be faster in the wet, I think in these karts you could probably say it is, because if you can get the kart turning in these karts and you can still hit the apexes, that's a great way to do it. So I was sort of like trying to keep moving the steering wheel there. I sort of struggled. Definitely into that corner I still was struggling with finding the grip and stuff, but through here I was definitely finding my way. I found that you actually don't really need to lift off there. So earlier I found out that later on in the day I found out that I don't need to really. I can actually take it flat, maybe a tiny lift if we think we're gonna absolutely screw ourselves. But yeah, really trying to get the kart turned nice and quickly, cutting round. People doing some mega Euro leaning in front of us, but we're actually doing alright, keeping it in good places. Through this corner though, the final corner is the worst corner for me. I lose so much in that corner, so it's definitely the final corner I need to improve on, and maybe a bit in turn 1 and turn 2, and maybe the left-hander after after Absolutely. So yeah, these karts can hit some crazy speeds of 70 miles an hour only when you're at one of these specific tracks, which has a crazy long straight. But here, it's you still go very quickly, and I'd like to say it's very shaky in the kart, especially since I'm not one of the heaviest. But now, I'd like to say we have recently put a new lead seat together to make sure that I have enough weight to hit the 60 kilos. It has about 16 on there, so I'm about 44 with all my gear on. So yeah, and we're actually hitting that apex there, getting the power down, so we're doing a lot better than we were in the first session, not being able to hit the apexes, really gaining on people in front of me. So yeah, making sure we go through here. We're actually taking some of these corners decently quickly, a little bit tight to this one, but we're actually getting an okay exit. Someone's round, so we have to go the whole way around the outside. Still a yellow flag here as we go around and down the line again. So, not too long left in this session. We still have quite a bit of time, almost binning it in turn 1, but we are getting the kart moved. There we did still lock that locked the fronts a bit. We had the steering wheel a bit stuck, which is okay. And as we head into this corner, trying to get it round. Sometimes we did do a little bit better, but we're actually on the power okay there. Trying to make sure we don't lose it. I was still being really cautious anyway at the start, just trying to, and then we're hitting that apex, which is really nice. We actually do lose it actually, and we lose quite a bit of time, but it's all right. Trying to get the kart turned around nice and quickly, almost losing the rear. Yellow flag, 2 karts going off. Got to be nice and slow. Trying to keep it actually kind of close, and I was actually doing well with it. I felt like it was actually finding a little bit more time than the people that were going like deeper into the corners, but still getting the exits a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie, through this boot in the final session, I actually felt I was quite quick, which was alright. But not through here. I needed to be clobbering that curb, which I wasn't a lot. So those final 2 corners are definitely where I lose a lot of time, and I actually almost bin it there. And I get past, which is absolutely fine, but I almost completely lost the car. I should have been, what that guy was doing there, I should have hit the inside curb and done exactly what he was doing. But I was taking the line a little bit differently, which was slightly wrong, but my exit was slightly better that time. We both almost lost it, and as he goes into the braking zone, he slips, and we spin. Because we're a little bit too focused on what he was doing. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait for a gap. We're going to wait for a gap. Which is not yet, but the gap is now. So yeah, that was our one and only spin in that race, but I was just a little bit unsettled going into the corner, and I tried to stop it from happening, but I was trying to push the boundaries of my braking zone, especially in the wet, to see what time I could find. But yeah, I just needed to be a little bit more aggressive on the revs, because with these karts, some of them don't pick up the best. Yellow flags. We were really, I felt like we were quick through this left-hander. And then through this right-hander, I felt like we were kind of quick. I felt like that was probably our strongest point on the track. And then here we just finally did start to actually get a little bit out of the car, but just that exit, we were quite slow. And we needed to be coming closer to the inside here, which we actually did that time, and it sort of gave us a little bit of a better run. And we actually had a great exit that time. Our best exit yet out of the turn 1. Going into the next corner, the guy in front almost loses it. We get the car round, and we're actually like a really good exit again. Definitely quite a quick lap. We're really gaining on the kart in front, almost losing it though still. The front end going quite crazy. Getting the kart stopped. Power already on because we went quite deep, but then we lose it a little bit, so we have to lift off. But it's fine, still going at a decent pace. The guy in front spins, but we're still going. So yeah, again, not long left in this session now, of course, because you only get 4 10-minute practice sessions for somehow like 200 quid, which is crazy. I do think Club 100 is a bit of a rip-off, but I guess you do get to drive some crazy karts. Yeah, with only 2 minutes on the clock now, we're actually taking a little bit better line through turn 1. And definitely turn 2. That was a lovely line, getting the power on, but we actually lock. So we lose a lot of time coming out of the exit there. Take a nice line through the hairpin. Not getting locked, which is alright. Although having quite a bad turn 1, we're actually sort of clawed it back here. Into the downhill corner, not too bad, trying to get the power on exit, not too bad, to be fair. Probably one of our best out of that corner. See if we can keep it together coming through here. Keep the momentum going on this lap. It's not been too bad. A little bit of a hiccup there. But yeah, let's keep it going. Coming to the end of this lap now, going probably one of the second fastest spots on the track, or second or third fastest spots on the track. Flying through the left-hander, getting it stopped. Could have been a little bit quicker through there. Maybe how is this exit? It's actually really slippery through here. So I think we were managing it quite well. Almost losing the rear, but we're keeping it together. Going clobbering over the curb. Should be on power there. Just struggling to find the grip on exit. But still, we're going to get one more lap before the checkered flag comes out. The exit this corner, not too bad actually. Could have been a little bit better. At least we don't go off into the curbs, the wet curbs. Into the Christmas corner. Getting it stopped. A little bit long, to be fair, but not too bad. Because we're back on the power nice and early. Should have gone flat through here, but we were always lifting. Not a bad lap. We were actually keeping up, not too bad, just outside of the top 10 at the end of this session, I think. So yeah, considering it was our first time, we've actually found that we actually had a little bit of pace in the wet. It's just our first session, we were just trying to get to grips with it all. So yeah guys, this was completely uncut footage. Of course I would have edited a bit if we had the 4 sessions. But yeah, and we are going to be coming to the end of this session, or are we going to get one more lap? No, we're going to be coming to the end of this session with a checkered flag. Not too bad of a lap. So yeah, thank you guys for this one, and I hope to see you either in another indoor karting video or when we head to Whilton Mill, if we do, for round 1. Goodbye.